Welcome to Creative Fan of Mine. I'm Sarah, and I'm so glad you're here. So today, I wanted to work on something that's been in my head for a little bit. I want to say at least several months, but we do have an Etsy shop that we actually haven't spent a whole lot of time on, but we're going to be adding products to that as we go. So I had this idea for a jewelry organizer, and one of the reasons is because my jewelry is a complete mess right now. So I came up with this idea, and it's sort of a sculptural thing, but here is the rough sketch that I drew a while ago. I wanted the wood to be rounded, so that's why that shape's kind of there. But it's going to be, this is probably the best picture of it. So it's going to have slats that sort of hinge out, and so it's going to start, like the longest one will be down here, and then the shorter ones will be up there, and then it's kind of going to be opposite, a mirror image of each other, sort of. So I guess I had 8 like this, and so I'm going to do different lengths. I'm going to go ahead and measure those out and figure out what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to cut this. Now this is, it's very thin, but I should be able to put small holes in it for earrings. And then I'm going to figure out something for necklaces. I'm not really sure, but it does have some thickness to it. You guys can see a little bit, but it should be, it's like just thick enough that I can drill into it. So I'm going to measure out my pieces and kind of figure out what I want to do, and then I'll cut them on the compound miter saw and rotating compound miter saw. Compound miter saw, I don't know, I can never remember what it's called. Anyway, but I'm going to measure them out and kind of figure out, and then I think I'm going to use the same thing for my backing. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and measure out my pieces and kind of see what I want to do. Level, measuring tape. It's definitely feeling like claws, I think. A little bit. Okay, so this is how I've measured out. This one's 14, 1 foot. Oh no, 14, 1 foot, 10 inches, 8 inches. So that's kind of how I measured it out. And so I'm going to cut 2 pieces out of each section and then round them off for my jewelry organizer. Hi guys, it is a couple of days later and I am still working on my jewelry organizer. So what I'm doing right now is I am sort of sanding down these pieces to get this sort of arch on the end, sort of like that. And so like this one I have to work on more. But I have 8 pieces, and so 2 of each piece are the same. And so these are like the little arch that I'm working on, different sizes. But I'm having to use our Herbal Sander, and I've just sort of hooked it up to a vise. You guys will see that in a second, and I'm just sort of carefully sanding them. It is done by hand, so it's not going to be perfect, but it looks pretty good, I think. I'm not totally done with these, but I'm still working on them. But I think it'll look nice, and so that is what I'm doing right now. The next step is I'm going to also sand the backing, and then all right, so now I'm trying to figure out where to put the stud earrings, and so I actually have quite a few, so I'm going to use this longest. I have a lot of dangly earrings too, but we're not going to do holes for those as of right now. Actually, I'm going to probably give it some thought. This is a prototype, so I'm going to think about it. But this guy, go ahead and attach. Well, I'm not going to attach these because I'm going to do holes for the studs. So I'm going to figure that out and then mark them off. And then I will attach these and then have something attached for hanging it up, and we'll be done with it. So, pretty cool. Sweet. Alright, now I can already tell they're different somehow. Oh, this last one's really close to the end one. Little teeny tiny drill bit, like teeny tiny. Actually don't know what size it is, I'll have to ask my husband, but and so I'm just going to drill into these where they're marked. Hopefully it's not going to crack this piece because there's a lot of little holes going in this one. Obviously I probably should have sanded and then, done everything and done the holes before I stained. And I didn't do that, so. Organizer. And let me just say, over the years, I've owned every type of jewelry organizer there is, pretty much. I have the little frame with, the wire that you can hang your earrings on, and the little hooks at the bottom for necklaces. I've had the little rounded thing for like bracelets and necklaces, almost like at a jewelry store with like the little pedestal at the bottom. I've had that. I had a fancy jewelry box that I didn't really use and took up a lot of space. I've just had all kinds of different things. And I do really like my jewelry. It's been in a jumbled box. And so I just kind of, particularly my earrings, I kind of wanted a way to easily display them. I also wanted to see if we wanted to do this again for our Etsy shop. And I really learned a lot from making this prototype. So one of which is I do really like the hinges. It is a little tricky to get them to be lined up the way I wanted and spaced the way I wanted. This is actually intentional. I kind of spaced this one a little different than this one. Now I kind of realize I don't really like the way it looks there, but I like how it looks overall, but I don't really love the spacing here because it's different. But I do like the hinges. I do like these little dowel. I like them in that way. I like the overall design. I would not use this material again. So this was, I mentioned the backing, sort of like the back of a dresser or something like that. It might be used for, or it might be used for the bottom of a drawer. And one of the biggest things that was a pain was that it was 2 different colors. So this is because I mess with stain. But I mean, it's a completely different color on the back, but it has these spots because I messed with the white stain, changed my mind, and so forth and so on. So that was really my fault, but I don't know that I would use this particular product again. There are some cool things about it, like the width of it was really good because I was able to drill into it, and it didn't crack, so that was good. But I just don't know, particularly with the stain, I don't know if I'd use it again. Now, if I was going to paint this, I mean, I would totally use it again, I think, because if I was going to paint it, it would be fine. But for staining, I didn't love it, and I really kind of wanted a very rich wood look. Now, granted, that was just like in my head, but that would have been nice to have. That's kind of what I originally envisioned. You know, I had this idea in my head, and I made it. And that's pretty awesome. And I know, you know, it's just cool to be able to do that. I know a lot of people do that. But it's just really neat to be able to, hey, I drew out this idea and now I'm making it. Overall, I'm happy with it. I don't know if we would make it again for our Etsy shop. I'm not really sure. One of the reasons is it's very, I guess, measurement heavy, if you say that. Like, you have to have the measurement, the spacing here, and the spacing on the ends, and the spacing of the pieces, and the spacing between the holes, and it's just a lot of measurements for it to look like finished. And obviously I know this, it doesn't look totally finished. Like it needs, you know, some tweaking and stuff. I realize this. But for a prototype, I think it's pretty good. I really like the look of the hinges. I like the rounded edge. I like, you know, the dowels like this, I think are interesting. I don't think I would use these again, but I mean, I think they're cute for what I need them for, but I think for, if we were going to sell this, I think I'd probably use just like a more traditional hook or whatever. But overall, I like it. I think it's interesting. It's a little different. I did look a little bit to see if I saw any, organizers that were similar to this, and I didn't, but that doesn't mean there aren't some out there. There could be. So yeah, I hope you guys like it. I would love to know your thoughts. Feel free to comment below. Do you like it? Do you hate it? What do you think? I'm really curious to hear what people think of it. So this was my jewelry organizer, my attempt at a jewelry organizer that we may or may not end up selling online. And I hope you guys like it. I like it for the most part, but there's definitely some things I would change if I was going to make it again. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll come back. Please subscribe and click the bell so you get all notifications below. And I am so happy you joined me today. And I hope this inspires you to come up with your own creative ideas, to find solutions for problems, you know, for little things in your life that can use improving, like your jewelry organizer or, you know, other things. Thank you so much for watching. All right, bye. See you next time.